judges. My name is Remus and these are my groupmates Zheng Kang, Jing Hong, Guan Wei, and Valerie, and we are presenting on Alphapodz. Our UVP is a quality fitness service that seamlessly integrates into the living spaces of HDB apartments that provides unmatched accessibility to make exercising an effortless part of your lifestyle. For the market needs are HDB residents, including students training for NS and MS men in service, who are keen on exercising but do not have proper equipment to exercise more frequently due to proximity. The early adopters are students training for NS and NS men in service, aged 16 to 24, who lives in Tampines. Our secondary market are Tampines HDB residents, aged 25 to 44. So our product is an exercise pod made of refurbished containers and is a compact gym that provides 24/7 access to a range of equipment. We will also be providing an app for bookings and loyalty program. These are the mock-ups of where the pods will be placed. For promotion channels, we'll be doing it on Facebook and Carousel, display advertising, and mailbox flyers. The setup time will be 8.5 months and we'll have a total of 5 employees. Once we receive HPD and HDB approval, we'll be working with a manufacturer on refurbishing the pods and delivering to the location once completed. Our revenue model is B2C, $5 per hour via online payment. To break even, we need at least $432,838 and 4,809 hours, which is roughly 17 months, including the 8.5 months setup period.
So the problem starts with my personal experience as a HDB resident and a student who is training for national service next year. I often found it to be inconvenient for me to travel to the gym, as the closest gym to where I live was 40 minutes away, and also discovered that unlike in condo apartments where residents have access to gym facilities, HDB residents do not have access to such gym facilities in their residential area, and the nearest gym to where they live are in community centres, which requires some travelling time for them to travel there as well. Therefore, we wanted to know how we can encourage HDB residents to lead an active and healthier lifestyle. To validate if HDB residents face a similar issue to our observation experience, we conducted a total of 24 empathy interviews with HDB residents and also students like us for training for national service through a series of face-to-face, Zoom, and phone interviews. Now, based on the empathy interviews, we found out that the majority of the early adopters are also gym users, and we initially thought that expensive gym memberships is one of the barriers that's preventing them from exercising more frequently, but we found out that cost is not an issue, as gym memberships like ActiveSG are free and there are exercises like running that do not require any cost. Therefore, we decided to pivot our value proposition away from providing affordable pricings. Instead, we found that the proximity to gyms and other outdoor exercising facilities is one of the largest pain points, as it was mentioned by 20 out of the 24 interviewees, and it can be seen from the frustration in their tone and the facial expression of many of them when they are asked to describe their customer journey when they are traveling to the gym. So upon further probing, we found out that the problem stems from the travelling process to the gym, particularly the long waiting time for public transport, as it would take an average of 30 minutes for them to travel to and from the nearest gym, which they felt was a waste of time, particularly for the early adopters who just wanted to get a short workout done. Therefore, we decided to pivot our how might we statement to how might we enable HDB residents who lack access to proper exercising equipment to exercise more frequently. And we also pivoted our value proposition to focus more on exercising by making exercising more convenient by reducing the proximity which customers are required to travel to have access to quality exercising equipment. Now, moving on to the next problem, interviewees will often feel uncomfortable with people staring at them when they're exercising in public fitness corners and in public gyms. Additionally, most of the time, the gyms that they visit are very packed, and therefore they will have to wait for other gym users to be done with the equipment that they wanted to use before they can actually use it, which is actually quite an annoying process for them, particularly if there's someone hogging the equipment for a long time. Therefore, we have taken these issues into consideration in the ideation stage to ensure that customers have privacy and with minimal waiting time when exercising. Now, moving on to the next problem, we also initially thought that people face the lack of time to exercise due to the busy work life, which is stopping them from exercising more frequently, and although it was validated through the empathy interviews with many interviewees being concerned and disappointed with the lack of time to exercise due to their busy work schedules, we realized that the lack of time is a problem that cannot be solved as it lies within the individual's perception of time, and we cannot possibly give them more time. However, one way this problem can be solved after going through the problem analysis and synthesis, is that we were to reduce the proximity to the solution. It also reduces the travelling time which is required for these time-strapped customers to travel before they can exercise. Therefore, we decided to pivot and merge this issue with the fourth problem mentioned previously.
So moving on to existing alternatives, firstly we have public and private gyms. As mentioned earlier, the proximity to these gyms is one of the largest pain points of this target audience for them to exercise more frequently, as seen from their frustration from most of their responses. Moving on to home gyms, our interviewees mentioned that buying their own equipment can be rather expensive. Therefore, they feel disappointed that they are only able to purchase 1 to 2 pieces of equipment at a time, and they will only wait till there is a sale before purchasing it. Therefore, due to a limited amount of equipment, they are also frustrated as they are unable to get an effective workout. Moving on to outdoor fitness stations, our early adopters mentioned that some of the equipment supplied at the outdoors is not challenging enough for them to produce significant muscular growth. This is so as the equipment often rely on their individual own body weight. Moving on to park connectors, our interviewees who will run or walk at the park connectors mentioned that they will choose park connectors nearest to their estate, however faces obstructions like other pedestrians and hence are also frustrated. And we also have home workouts by using fitness apps and videos. However, our interviewees mentioned that they are often distracted by their phones while exercising, which makes their workout ineffective as compared to going to the gym. And lastly, we have condo facilities. However, we remove it from our existing alternative as we remove the condo residents from our customer segment.
So, initially we included condo residents as part of our customer segment as they also face a similar issue of having limited time to exercise due to work and study commitments. However, this was due to the lack of clarity in our customer segments which caused us to overly broaden our customer segments. Therefore, we decided to pivot and focus only on HDB residents who face a much larger pain point of having a lack of access to proper exercising equipment due to proximity, which is an issue that condo residents do not face as they have gyms located within their apartment basins. Additionally, HDB residents are a much larger target market given that 81% of Singaporeans are HDB residents. So what we learned from this is that if we were to only focus on HDB residents from the start, it would have helped us to gain and better concentrate our empathy interviews to generate clearer and deeper understanding of their pain points, and we would have collected a better set of data from the start. Now moving on to the early adopters, we initially lacked clarity as we just broadly defined them as students training for national service and NS men, but we found out that it could also mean that these early adopters are living in any residential type, which is not who we want to target. Instead, we only wanted to target HDB residents as these are early adopters who face a much larger pain point of having a lack of access to proper exercising equipment due to the proximity. Therefore, we decided to pivot our early adopters in the early stages to focus only on students training for national service and NS men who are HDB residents, which help us to gain better clarity on the problems and insights to the early adopters through the empathy interviews.
Now I'll be talking about prototype testing. These are the pictures of our prototype interviews. In total, we conducted 4 prototype testings with 16 people participating in every testing. In prototype 1, the features of Alphapodz are 6 equipments that are most commonly used by target audience. In addition, we also have televisions in the air-conditioned class pods with the ability to have online face-to-face session with gym or spin trainers. Moving forward, from prototype interview 1, we received feedback from the interviewees that cleanliness, privacy, and security was a point of concern for them. Therefore, we have included the following features. For cleanliness issue, we decided to have self-disinfecting coating on equipments and hiring external cleaning services for daily cleaning to ensure the cleanliness of the pod on a daily basis. Privacy was also a concern for the interviewees, hence we added privacy class for the upper half of the pods. In addition, we have also decided to provide Zwift services for stationary bikes and treadmills, as it has been proven to improve users' experience when using them. And finally, to prevent vandalism, a CCTV will be placed near the vicinity of a group of pods. After which, we carry out our second prototype testing. Based on the interview findings, we added more features to prototype 3. The features that we have added to the prototype were exit buttons and self-timing air freshener spray. This is because in prototype 2 testing, interviewees noted that they will be unable to get out should the electrical door malfunctions. Hence, we have added the exit buttons to facilitate the exit in the event happens. In addition, the interviewees also have indicated that there might be an unpleasant sweat smell left behind by the previous user due to the pod being an enclosed area. Hence, to that we have added air freshener spray to the pods. Furthermore, through the prototype interviews, we have also recognized the importance of convenience when making bookings. Therefore, we have added Alphapodz app to prototype 3. For the Alphapodz app, we added functions such as making bookings, choosing time slots, renewing memberships, connecting with gym instructors for online exercising sessions and one-to-one coaching lessons. After conducting prototype 3 interview, we discovered from the prototype testings that punching bags help to relieve stress and build upper body muscles. Hence, we decided to offer punching bag in Alphapodz. Additionally, to further assure cleanliness concerns, we decided to provide the users with ethanol and paper napkins in the Alphapodz. Lastly, we also made changes to the Alphapodz app by including an in-app loyalty program that rewards customers based on the total timing used. So how does Alphapodz meet the needs of the target customers? As the Alphapodz will be placed at HDB void decks and car parks, we have reduced the proximity for the target audience to exercise. As such, they will be able to exercise more frequently compared to going to mainstream gyms, as we have eliminated the travelling time for them. Finally, after conducting series of prototype testing, here are the final features of minimum viable product of both Alphapodz and Alphapodz app.
For MVP testing, we use A/B testing to test for our go-to social media channel as well as pricing. Additionally, to gain concrete insights on the demand and traction for Alphapodz. We conducted the testing through running the same advertisement on both Facebook and Instagram for 6 days. Some limitations when we were conducting our tests were that we only had 1 week and a limited budget of $50 to do our A/B testing. Next, midway through our testing, we decided to make some changes and pivoted our advertisements. We made these pivots as we found out that we needed to specify our target audiences to focus on the early adopters for more relevant results. Hence, changing our target audience from HDB residences from 16 to 44 to NS men within 16 to 24. Furthermore, as we plan to launch our first pods in Tampines, we felt the need to target Tampines instead of Singapore for consistency and accuracy of results. Hence, the change from targeting the whole of Singapore to just Tampines. Finally, we had to change our advertisement visual as Facebook disallows the viewers of the same visuals. Moving on, here are the advertisements for each test. For these tests, our call to action was to contact us to register at only $5 per hour. Moving on, based on our results obtained, we decided to use Facebook as it is the most used social media platform of our target audience. As seen from the results obtained through our testing, getting the highest engagement from our Facebook ads, along with 7 sign-ups compared to 0 from Instagram. Concluding the use of Facebook as the go-to channel for future advertisements and promotional activities. Next, to conclude our test results, the $5 per hour pricing model will be our go-to pricing strategy as it has gained higher engagements with more sign-ups, justifying it being more preferred by users. Additionally, from the results obtained, this validates that there is an accurate product market fit, as seen from the substantial amount of sign-ups and engagements over 6 days, hence making it likely that we will be able to gain traction relatively quickly and our promotional channels will help sustain it. Moving on, to further validate that our $5 per hour price strategy is our go-to pricing strategy, we also made use of Carousel, testing both prices through Carousel as it has interest groups and there were no advertising costs. Moving on, we were able to conclude that the $5 per hour pricing strategy was a preferred and go-to price as it gained 2.2k impressions and 116 clicks, more than the $60 per month pricing strategy, along with 4 inquiries from the $5 per hour price strategy in comparison to none. Finally, throughout the duration of the testing, we were able to reach out to Health Promotion Board to validate if there is a market opportunity for us to partner with them. However, we have yet to receive a response in the midst of them preparing a new grant that we will be able to use. While waiting for their reply, we reached out to our local grassroots leaders to test on our product market fit, as well as the viability and feasibility of our Alphapodz. At the end of the interviews, we confirmed that it is viable and feasible to place our pods at the locations we intended to place it, which are the void decks and car parks. And there is a product market fit for our Alphapodz, as our interviews with the grassroots leader confirms that Alphapodz promote exercising for HDB residents to maintain a healthier lifestyle and widening the facilities available for the community to use, hence benefiting the community positively. Thank you.